This is 1K to 1M in NHL 19, the series that could potentially help you guys earn a stacked squad without paying anything at all, without buying any packs. And this is episode 2, and let me tell you, episode 2 this past week was actually pretty rough for the series. I think out of all of the episodes that I've done over the past 2 years, this is probably the one that I had trouble with the most. Maybe because I was limited to certain days and certain times where maybe the activity just wasn't as high as it normally is. But being honest with you guys, I would have rather played challenges than done the flipping that I did for this episode. Now, I don't feel that way about other episodes, other videos that I make, but this episode, it just wasn't working out. Honestly, my saving grace was like the last few minutes of this video where I started to get some much greater flips. Anyway, the first thing that I did was trying to figure out a market. I chose the alumni cards. I spent like 5 to 10 minutes before I started to write down the prices of all of these cards so that when I'm flipping, you can just easily tell whether or not it's a good deal. Outside of this Danico, which maybe I took a little bit too long to buy, but it worked out. So something like this. I just got a price range so that if I found these guys a few K underneath those prices, I would know to buy them. The reason for this price range is because some of them, even though they're posted at the lowest point, those might get moved quickly, so maybe I would want to sell a card somewhere in the midpoint instead. So I did all kinds of different methods for these alumni. I was looking at cards at the 1 hour mark, 3 hour mark, 6 hour mark, 12 hour mark, 24 hour mark, and even the 3-day mark. I also ended up doing the bid war method, as you see here, to like 6 cards. I only ended up winning 1 of them, so maybe it wasn't all that worth it. But I suppose all of this episode is just going to be showing off the different possibilities, the different options that are available to you if you don't want to snipe. Using the spam method I showed off in the first episode, even though I still believe that's one of the best ways that you can make coins pretty much at any point, no matter how many coins you have. New this week were the Team of the Week cards. They get released every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so I hopped on that as soon as I could to see if I could try to snatch some deals. This Yamamoto was one of the few ups, so we ended up purchasing him. But a lot of people, they don't know the prices of those Team of the Week cards, so they might post it significantly less than even their gold base cards, and that's when you can have a good deal. I dropped my gloves in the collectibles market. I spent some time here, but I only picked up 1 collectible. Not really worth it. Maybe if you find a collectible for like 5K, then you sell it for 20K, it'll be more worth it. Jerseys, I was even worse at. The only jerseys that are really popular are the international ones, such as Team Canada, Team USA, Team Russia. There's some really cool looking jerseys that'll go for a lot of coins as well. But if you don't want to deal with that right now, wait until they release the alternate jerseys, like the really rare jerseys from sets, and those jerseys are gonna go for a ton. The next thing that I did was I was looking at all of the gold rare cards that I could who had the burner synergy. First, I did my research. I wrote down the prices of these cards so that I have a better understanding of what they go for. I split it off into tiers, so anything around 5K, then anything around 10K to 20K, just so that it's a little bit more visually appealing. You can do this with any synergy, any of those different settings. You can do it by country if that helps, by like snipers. Snipers is usually a good one. But the idea here is, again, you get to look at all of the cards that are entering the market specific to burner. You can flip through them really easily, so you can go from the 1 hour mark to the 3-day mark really quick. And also there are less cards on your screen, which means you're going to be able to get to those new cards that show up much easier. So here I'm also looking at all of the snipers. I noticed that when it comes to the snipers, there's a lot higher overalls. So cards like Kane, Ovechkin, Line, they're all grouped together. So those are the kind of cards that you will see if you sort it just by these cards. When it comes to the search parameters that you set up, if there's a really small amount of cards, like maybe under 100, what I would do is I would just spam the bumpers, LB, RB, or L1, R1 as much as I could, until on the bottom left, the number changes. So in this case, it's 327. Now it's 326. When it goes up, that's when I know that I should be looking for a new card. Otherwise, I sat at the 1 hour mark just to see any cards that popped up, just like this Jeff Carter. So back to the times that I was flipping cards. You can flip cards at any time of day. If you flip cards at an obscure time, like at 3 in the morning, there's going to be less people that are flipping with you, so you have a better chance of getting cards. The problem is there aren't as many cards that are being sold, so it may take a lot longer to get those steals. If you're looking for those times where there's a lot of cards being sold at once, which means you're definitely going to see those steals, but you're not sure if you're going to be the one that ends up getting them. Those are the times where free packs are being given out, or there's an event where EA just released a bunch of brand new cards, so people want to rip open packs to try to get the 90 overall Solani that came out a few weekends ago. The times where there are a bunch of free packs given out are the times where Hut Champions ends, the competitive season ends, or when the pre-order weekly packs come in. Now, those weekly packs come in every Monday in the morning. I think it's like 3 a.m. Eastern time. So all throughout Monday, people are going to be ripping packs and selling cards on the auction house for free. Hut Champions is another popular time, and it's going to end Monday morning as well. So that's twice the amount of packs being ripped open on Mondays. Competitive seasons are a bit all over the place, so you do have to keep track of when the rounds end, when the season ends, and then plan to flip cards shortly after that, because then the rounds still have to process so that everyone gets their packs and they get rid of all of the cheaters and IP booters. The next 2 days are Wednesdays, when Team of the Week again comes out 5 p.m. Eastern time, like I said. And those could be hit or miss, because if the Team of the Week is bad, kind of like this past Team of the Week where there's a Giordano and a Carter, nothing too special, people aren't going to want to rip packs. Other weeks, there's going to be like a higher overall Crosby or Ovechkin, and people will want to get that. And then Fridays, you have the alumni that are going to be in packs just for that weekend, and that's going to be another great time to flip cards. But again, it depends on the alumni. Hopefully, they give out desirable alumni cards that people would definitely want to get their hands on. All right, so I've been doing the quick spam method, buying a whole bunch of different cards. Some of them I throw back up on the auction house. Others I just put back in my collection, and so I may want to just look up their prices later, or I can do the gold collectibles set where you throw 5 gold rare cards in, get this really shiny gold collectible, and then sell it for like 20k. And I think that this is the first thing that you guys should do before throwing those cards back up on the auction house. Try to do this set every day if you're buying those cards for under 4k or 3.5k, 3k, whatever the case may be. There's a cooldown on it, so that's why those collectibles will usually be more expensive than the gold rare players that are at the lowest price when you're doing the spam method. So yeah, my 2 greatest flips are going to be this Ekblad and Rantanen that I buy for 5, 6k. I sold Rantanen for 10k, Ekblad for 15k. They're pretty nice flips, except the fact that, you know, all the time that I spent beforehand, I felt like I wasted a lot of time there. If I had only flipped those cards, then I would feel really good about the time that I spent. So just a quick recap, I bought 5 of those cards, turned it into the gold collectible for about a 4k profit. And then these are the cards that I bought and sold throughout the week. Some of them probably didn't show up in the video because I'm really bad at figuring out where those clips are. So hopefully I do a better job next week with that. But if you're struggling right now, all I can just say is keep at it. Find a method that's comfortable for you. Do your challenges, which I know that this series isn't about that, but do your challenges, and if you have to, then just wait a little bit. Wait another week or 2 weeks, just so that not everyone's doing this all at the same time. So I started with 91k. I'm around 200k right now in coins. Don't even know where like a lot of these coins are coming from, probably from challenges and sets and objectives and whatnot. But I gained about 67k in the 2 days that I was flipping cards. a lot of tax gets eaten up, almost 12.5k. My biggest gain was a good amount of coins, 8,200 with the Eggblad. My biggest gain percentage-wise was 350%. And that was the Gensel that I bought for under 1k and I sold for 4k. So while I was trying all these different methods, I think for next week, I am definitely going to stick to the method that I like the most, the one that I feel most comfortable with, like I said. And I certainly expect to make way more coins than I did this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions or need any additional help, let me know in the comments below and I would be happy to assist.